Hello everybody! Today we are going to learn how to play Nerts Consequences. So let's get started. When you get your box, you're going to notice there are 7 decks of cards in various colors. Now, each player is going to get one deck. So for instance, I'm going to choose silver. Now once each player has chosen their deck, it's time to set up. And so here's how we're going to do it. I'm going to start with 12 cards facing down. And the 13th card will face up. This is what is known as our Nerts pile. And right next to it, I'm going to put 4 more cards facing up, like this. And once you're all set up, you should have some leftover cards. These are going to come in handy. Okay, so we're all set up and we're ready to go. We have our Nerts pile and we have our work piles. Now the goal of the game is to get rid of this Nerts pile. So these cards, what we're going to do is we're going to play from king down. Meaning, right here, I would need a 10, and then a 9, and an 8, and a 7, and so on. We're counting down here. The trick is you have to alternate colors. So for example, I would need a black 10 to go on top of this red jack. Or I would need a black jack to go on top of this red queen. Or a red 6. Now the suit doesn't matter, only the color. Right off the bat, I have no moves that I can make. And so remember that extra pile that we had left over? Here's where it comes in handy. You're going to take that pile, and 3 at a time, you're going to count and flip. Now you can only use this top card. So here what I can do is I can move this black jack on top of this red queen. And again, I'm out of moves, and so I will flip 3 more, and then 3 more, until I can come up with something that I can use. Aha! We have an ace. All aces will go into the middle. This is a common area that all the players have access to. Now here's where it gets tricky because it's a very fast-paced game. So, in the middle, we are going to count ace up by suit, meaning for this particular one, I have to have a 2 of clubs to go on top of it, and then a 3 of clubs to go on top of that. Now, any player at the table can build off of this pile, regardless of who started the pile. So it's important to know what cards you have available, what you can and can't use, and it's also important to be aware of what cards other people are putting in the middle. For instance, if a player next to me put a 2 of clubs on top of this ace of clubs, I better be quick enough to know that I can use this 3 of clubs to go right here. Now why are we putting cards in the middle? Because for every card you put in the middle, you're going to get a point. So your 2 primary objectives in playing Nerts is to get rid of your Nerts pile and to get as many cards as you can into the middle. Those are the 2 number 1 goals. Okay, so the round ends when somebody gets rid of their Nerts pile and yells Nerts. So that means that they've distributed all of the cards in their Nerts pile either onto their work piles or into the middle. And once it's gone, they yell Nerts, and that is the end of the round. So what we're going to do is we're going to count, if you have any more left, your Nerts pile. So let's say that I have 2 left. Let's just say that I have 2 left in my Nerts pile, okay? I'm going to subtract 2 from my total score. Now, what's my total score? My total score is however many cards I have in the middle, meaning these cards are kind of irrelevant at this point. Now here's where the different colored decks come in handy. as I said earlier, everybody is throwing cards into the middle trying to build on top of the aces. And each card is worth 1 point. So it's important that we know how many cards each player put into the middle. So we can take all the cards in the middle and we can divide them up by color. So for example, silver had 2 cards in the middle, red had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards in the middle, and blue had 3, meaning red won the round, and silver, myself, clearly lost the round. So, if you're playing Nerts Consequences, what that means is silver is going to have to pick from the Consequences deck because they lost this round. The loser of each round has to draw from the Consequence deck. So being that I lost, I will draw. This says write a Facebook status using only your toes, and you must post it. And so that's my consequence for this round. So once you've completed the consequence, you can go ahead and begin round 2. Okay, so let's recap. The goal of the game is to get rid of your Nerts pile while getting as many cards into the middle as you can. Remember, whatever cards you have left in your Nerts pile are going to be deducted from your total score. And so that's how you play Nerts Consequences. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and whether it's hanging out with friends or having a family game night, Nerts Consequences is going to make it all the better. So have fun, y'all.